Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Zoom and Balance with me, Hannah. We have a fun class today, about 30-ish minutes, 35 minutes. We'll do some strength exercises and some balance work. You will need a set of weights. I use a 3-pound set of dumbbells. You could use a 2, a 3, or a 5. All those would be fine. And if you don't have dumbbells, you could use soup cans or any 2 kind of evenly weighted objects in your home. Now, before we begin, before we begin the exercise, we'll begin with our little fall prevention discussion. So this week we were talking about hydration. And if you were here on Monday, you remember that the way that being properly hydrated relates to falls is that if you become dehydrated, you can become confused, you can lose some cognitive function, dizzy, lightheaded, and that decreases your balance and can increase that risk of falls. So it's recommended that you drink between 6 to 8 cups of non-caffeinated fluids per day, unless your doctor tells you otherwise. Another figure I hear is if you know how much you weigh in pounds, half of that number in ounces is how much water you should drink. So you have to do a little bit of calculating there. And that's how much you should drink to stay properly hydrated. It can be tricky to drink all that water. Goodness knows I try and drink through the day, and I do a pretty good job, but I don't think I hit that recommendation too often without really thinking about it. So some ways to increase our hydration. Now, you definitely want to limit your alcohol intake. It's not included in the daily recommended daily amount of fluid, and actually can work in the opposite way. So as well as caffeine, caffeinated fluids also do not count towards that amount. They can work kind of like a diuretic, so like a water pill, and it can increase the amount of urine your body produces and needs to go to the bathroom more often. So that's not great for keeping hydrated. Let's think, so some ways that we can, some easy things we can do to try and increase the amount of water we drink. You can flavor your water if you don't like the taste of just plain water. Mint, lemon, cucumber, all of those things can, improve the taste if you don't like just the taste of plain water. You can use an electrolyte mix. You can get electrolyte powders, which I quite like. If you sweat a lot, they can be handy. I know I do, and try and keep sodium levels high. That's maybe getting a little bit technical, but if you really want to increase hydration, you could ask your doctor about taking on electrolytes. Drinking water with meals, although we don't always want to drink a ton of water when we eat, because that can dilute our stomach's natural acids, which can slow down your digestion. So, but sipping water through your meal, keeping a water bottle with you in the car when you are running errands. Definitely, if you're coming out to class, taking water with you to drink while you're exercising. And then herbal teas. If you find that you're always reaching for a caffeinated drink, maybe switching out a cup in the day for something that's herbal. I really like peppermint tea. Chamomile is nice. Ginger can be good too, and kind of soothing. Chamomile is really relaxing. Peppermint is good for your digestion. So yeah, switching out maybe a coffee for, it doesn't have to be every day, but if you're trying to increase your fluids, a herbal tea is a good option. Although, if you think back to a couple of weeks ago, we talked about medications. Remember that any herbal supplements that you take, you should count as medication, and pay attention to things that the way that they might interact with other supplements or other medications that you are taking. I would say the amount of medicinal ingredients, generally speaking, in a herbal tea is not something to be concerned about, but just something to bear in mind if you're consuming lots of herbal things. The combination of herbs, definitely something to talk about with pharmacist or doctor. I would say teas are pretty safe, but I know there's a couple that you shouldn't take in certain instances. It's mostly to do with pregnancy. I'm waffling now and going off topic, but things to keep in mind. Just be aware of what you're consuming, I guess, is the biggest thing here. All right, let's stand up. I'm going to stop talking and we will exercise. So, standing up nice and tall. We're going to march on the spot. Standing up tall here. Turn that light while it's stuck in here. Standing up, picking those feet up, moving those arms forwards and backwards. Nice and easy. Let's take those shoulders up towards our ears and slowly relax them down. We'll do this a couple of times. Pull those shoulders up, relax down, up, and down, and again. Pull those shoulders up and relax down. And let's roll those shoulders. Nice big circles. I'm going to go backwards for a few. And then forwards, roll those shoulders forwards, great. And let's bring those arms out to the sides now and draw some little circles here. Good, and then backwards again. Good, we're gonna wiggle our fingers now and then reach those arms forwards, one at a time, nice big circles. Good, like we're swimming, it's a nice easy breaststroke. And let's go back in the other direction, nice big circles, backwards. Good, let's relax our arms. Stand with our feet hip width apart and we're going to circle our hips. Good, back in the other direction. Great. And let's tap our toes. Keep those heels touching the floor. And tap your toes here. Let's pick those hands up. And we'll tap our fingers to thumb. Good. Let's kick those feet forwards. Shake those legs out a little bit. And we'll circle our wrists. Back in the other direction. Good, very good. All right, nice deep breath here. Big inhale, reach those arms right up, exhale, slowly lower down. And again. Big inhale up and exhale down. Good. Excuse me. Let's pick up one weight. We're going to do a squat here. Now, we frequently will do a wide squat, and then sometimes we'll do a wide squat followed by a narrow squat. Today, we're just going to focus on that narrow squat. So feet really close together, as close as you can kind of manage. They don't need to be touching, but yeah, just a few inches apart. Definitely closer together than they would be for that regular kind of squat. So holding the weight here at your chest. Now this one is more difficult than you might think. I feel like it's more difficult than the wide squat. So just take your time, put the weight down if you find it super challenging, but keep that weight there if you want to push yourself a little bit. So shoulders are relaxed. We're going to inhale, sink down, and exhale, stand up. If you feel like Now you really want to think about getting your bum down nice and low, because I think the tendency is to just, because it's narrow, we just do a little shallow squat, but let's really sink that bum down to the floor. Well, not all the way to the floor. Get a good squat here. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, good. And exhale, nice and slow on that way down. And push yourself up. Definitely more challenging than the wide squat, I find. Good. Inhale nice and slowly down. Exhale to stand up, and last one here. Good. And we'll keep hold of this weight. I want you to be close to the chair or table, back of the sofa, something for support. I like to use my wall here. We're going to push ourselves up onto tiptoes, slowly lower down. Good. Nice and tall through that chest, lifting up onto those tiptoes, slowly lower those heels down. Good. And let's do 2 more. Here's 1. And here's 2. Good. We'll pick up the second weight. We'll do all of our strength exercises, and then we'll go back to the beginning and do all of them again. So we'll pick up our weights into this goalpost position. Elbows are nice and high, hands are kind of at head level. We're going to push up one hand and then the other. Up, hands slowly lower down. Good. Straight up to the ceiling and lower down. Good. Great, nice big exhale as you push up. We'll inhale as we slowly lower down. 1 and 2, good. Relax those arms. Now we're going to hold our arms, so we have one hand, it's kind of in front of us like this, and the other hand is at the side. I'm going to lift those at the same time. So our arms are making an L shape, so an L raise. Standing nice and tall, lift, slowly lower, lift, and lower, lift, slowly lower down, good. Lift, and lower, lift, and lower, good. Let's switch those hands around. Same thing again. Lift up, slowly lower down. Lift, and lower. Lift, lower down, and again. Lift up, and lower. Perfect. Let's put one weight down. We're going to take this second weight and reach it up to the ceiling in your right hand. Now I want you to think about your right hand coming towards your left knee. Going to use my chair for some stability here. So right elbow to left knee. So we're doing this crunch diagonally here. You can pop the weight down if you want to. And again, last one. Great. Lower this weight nice and slowly, and let's switch to the other side. Weight in the left hand. Left elbow towards right knee. They don't need to touch. They just need to come towards each other. Lifting up. Exhale. And reach. Good. And relax down nice and slowly. Great. Pick up the second weight. Arms at your sides, feet hip width apart. We're going to reach one arm towards the floor and then the other. So we have a little bend at the waist. think we're dropping those shoulders, one and the other. Good. One and two. One and two. Great, very good. One, two. Once more on each side. One and two. Good. Excuse me just a second. My nose is running terribly and I had to grab tissue. So have a drink. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. We're going to go back to the beginning and do all of those again. So have a drink if you didn't already. Let's grab this one weight and we're going to start with our narrow squat. So feet nice and close to each other. Let's really think about our feet pressing into the floor, nice and relaxed. We're standing tall. We're going to inhale slowly down. Exhale to stand up. Good. Take this really slowly. Feet are nice and close together as close together as you can. Good. Let's do two more. Inhale as we lower down. Exhale back up. And again. Wonderful. Keep this weight here in your hands. And let's come up onto tiptoes for those heel raises. Slowly lower them down. Good. Standing nice and tall. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale as you lower down. Good. Whoops. Lovely. And let's do two more here. We're nice and relaxed through the upper body. And again. Good, perfect. We'll pick up that second weight now. Back to those upper body movements. So pick those elbows up nice and high. Hands around your about head level. We'll press, excuse me, one hand and then the other to the ceiling, nice and slow on that way down. One and two. Good. Really trying to lower down slowly and keeping those elbows high. You can, keeping them up. Good. Nice and controlled on that way down. Let's do two more each side. So 4 altogether. That's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Relax those arms slowly. That's hard work. It's hard on the shoulders, but a good challenge. A good challenge. One weight in each hand again. My right hand is at the front of my body. My left hand is at my side, and we're going to lift both arms at the same time. Slowly lower down. Good. And again. And let's switch those hands around. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get to 5. I was counting without telling you the end number. Here's number 5. Good. All right, great. Pop the one weight down now, and let's do that diagonal standing abdominal crunch. Lots of words, lots of big words. Right arm up to the ceiling. This right elbow is going to come and meet the left knee. They don't need to touch, they just need to say hi to each other. Exhale. Inhale to reach up. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Nice big reach up. Good, 2 more. That's 1. And 2, nice, and slowly down. Let's switch to the other side. Left arm to the ceiling, elbow to right knee. Do 2 more. 1. And 2. And let's slowly lower that arm down. Very good. Grab that weight here. That second weight, so you have 1 hand weight in each hand. Just in the chair. We're going to hinge at the hip, lower 1 weight, and then the other. 1 and 2. We're reaching towards our knee. We don't need to touch the knee. You definitely don't need to think about touching the floor, of course. Just nice and slowly. Once more each side. 1 and 2. Very good. Let's relax those weights and we'll have a drink. Okie dokie, so let's move on to some balance now. We're going to stand with 1 foot directly in front of the other. I should say before we start the balance, make sure that you're standing somewhere where you have some support furniture. So I just use my wall here. So my kitchen chair, that's ideal. Something that you can have a hand on to steady yourself should you need the extra balance. Make sure that's within arm's reach. So let's stand with our feet 1 in front of the other, thinking about evenly weighting those feet. So what I mean by that is you're not standing back on that back leg or you're not leaning forward on that front. Your weight is even between both feet. And you're standing nice and tall. Knees are soft and relaxed. Let's take 1 arm to reach for the ceiling. And then the other arm. Take those arms out to the sides. And let's turn our palms up, both at the same time. And then down. Palms up. And down. Palms up. Palms down. Let's turn the left palm up. Keep the right one down. Now turn the right one up. And turn the left one down. Left one up. Right one down. Right one up. Left one down. Now do it at the same time. Flip them over a little bit quicker. And then relax those hands. And let's switch our feet around. So the other foot is forward. We'll bend that knee. Standing nice and tall. Whoop. Trying to be even with our weight. And remember, if this is very tricky, let's take that front foot out to the side a little bit and have some space between your 2 feet. It's made it more difficult. Have some space between your feet, so it just make it a little bit easier for yourself. More stability. So 1 arm to the ceiling. And then the other. Slowly out to the sides. We'll reach 1 arm forwards, 1 arm backwards. And the other way, 1 forwards, 1 backwards. Back to center again, and relax those arms. Excellent. We'll work on one leg a little bit here. So standing close to your support furniture, let's take the weight onto our right leg. So a little bend of that right knee. And let's take the left foot up off the floor. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel safe today, having that foot off the floor, today is not a happy balance day, then let's just keep that big toe touching the floor. Keep the toe on the floor so that you're challenging that balance just a little bit, you're staying safe. So do what's right for you here. Keep that toe on the floor or lift the foot right up. Holding on to support furniture as much as you need to. And let's take one arm up to the ceiling. Keeping a hand free that you can hold the wall or whatever, the chair, if you need to. Let's take that hand, we're going to wave from side to side. Good. Now see if you can take that second hand up and wave both arms. This is optional. Keep holding on if you want to. I'm not doing so well. Watching myself rather than watching something that isn't moving, which makes that easier. There we go. If you focus your gaze on something that isn't moving, it will be easier than watching me as I'm moving around on the camera. Good. Relax those arms. That was more difficult than I was imagining it was going to be. So let's take the weight onto the other leg and we'll see how that one goes. So weight onto that left foot, relax that left foot into the floor. And that right foot, you can keep the toe touching the ground or you can take that foot all the way up off the ground. We're standing tall. We're going to lift one arm to the ceiling, wave that arm from side to side. And let's take that second hand up. And again, waving those arms side to side. Remember, the second hand is optional. Good, nice deep breaths. Good, and relax those arms. That side is much easier for me, so that's interesting. One side is better than the other today. Okay, a little more on one leg. Starting on the right foot again, relaxing that right foot into the ground. And this time we're going to lift the left knee. So it's out in front of you. I'll just turn to the side. So you see, it looks like this. The left knee is lifted. And then we're going to stretch that foot out and bend that knee. Stretch. So you extend that leg and then you bend at the knee. Your foot doesn't have to be high up, just enough that you can move your foot without it touching the floor. Stretch and bend. Stretch and bend. Oops. Stretch and bend. And again, stretch and bend. And relax that foot here. Excellent. Weight onto your left. And the right foot comes up. Just bending that knee and then stretching that leg out. Bending the knee. Stretch and bend. Stretch and bend. Stretch and bend that knee. Good. Standing tall. Stretch and bend. Stretch. Couple more. Stretch and bend. And again. Stretch and bend. Good. And relax that foot to the ground. Excellent. All right, one more. We're going to move around a little bit more and do that tightrope walk that I love so much. Heel to toe steps. Moving forwards and backwards. Nice and slowly. We're looking up and ahead. Good. Nice deep breaths. Oh, wobbly. Good, looking forwards, trying not to look at your feet. Feet as close together as they can be. Good, off camera. And now let's look to the left, and then turn your head to look to the right. So moving forwards and backwards in that same way. I'm going to go forwards here. Moving forwards and backwards, but turning that head from one side to the other. One side and the other, nice and slowly. And see how changing that head position impacts your balance. Does it make it easier to do because you're thinking about something else? Or does it make it more difficult because it's unbalancing? Unbalancing you. I think it's making it more difficult for me. But maybe you feel differently. Good. All right, relax it there. Excellent, everybody. Let's stretch. Have a drink if you want to before we stretch. Let's take one arm across your body here. And we'll hold, stretch through that shoulder. And the other arm. Good, let's take one arm to the ceiling. We'll bend at the elbow, bring that hand behind your back. Just use that other hand to kind of increase the stretch here. Good, relax those arms. And here's a little, try, I don't know what I was trying to say. The other side, bend at the elbow, hand behind your back. And let's increase that stretch here. Good, relax that arm down and let's grab a seat. Good, sit down in your chair here. We're going to stretch 1 foot forward. You can sit just facing straight forwards. I want you to be able to see my feet properly, which is why I'm on the angle. But you can sit just forwards like you regularly would in your chair. Heel touching the floor, toe to the ceiling. We'll hinge forward at the hip to feel that stretch in the back of this leg. Yeah. Good, let's switch to the other side. Again, you can just face forward. I want you to just be able to see my feet better. So heel touching the floor, toe to the ceiling, and we'll hinge forwards at the hip until you feel that stretch in the back of this extended leg, and then you'll hold it still. Good, back to center. Take your right hand to your left knee and let's look back over that left shoulder. Good, back to center again, and then left hand to right knee and back over that right shoulder. Good, and back to center again, nice and slowly. Let's come up to feet. We're gonna reach our arms right behind us, squeeze those shoulder blades together, stretch those fingers right out. Take a deep breath in, and exhale as you wrap those arms around yourself. A nice tight squeeze, a pat on the back. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along today. I hope you have a super weekend, and I will see you all next week.
Okay, thanks, Hannah.
You're welcome.